up some clouds. Not even using the microphone for it there.
The hoops.
Arch of Roses?
Oh, yeah?
The Arch of Roses?
Yes, the hoops.
Whichever you like. Yeah.
Mr. Littlefield, senior, keyboardist. When he was a student, there was real rose lines.
Is that Mark's?
Yeah.
That's Mark's dad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
And I think what happened was, when we went from a 1 p.m. ceremony to 11 a.m. 85 years ago, we lost his services because they conflicted with him playing at church services in the morning.
Well, who comes first?
I know, right?
I would think it's just really something.
The Supreme Court would have a decision that
they did single file, so it's just going to take longer. The only good seats are in the shade against the press box. These guys are cutting their quits on the wall. He's just dunking. They didn't even make it to the corner. No one's got a regular.
We got one.
Good job, James. He's keeping it going.
Nope, I'm not. What? We're just gonna make them run. I'll go get one.
Yes, 209, I think.
Shoes, I love it.
So, she did the car parade the other day. So the back seat of a convertible with like a baby or a big baby. She goes, yes, there were rumors that on that break day I'd go gone into school. So I stay out in Texas. Just give me a walk.
Just walk regular now.
We just did it for 100 yards. And then we'll do 5 more steps.
Tommy! No more Durst Jr., buddy.
Yeah, Kelly.
Yeah, he knows how to do it.
Right. I mean, just for saying. And it was fancy, right?
twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
No, Andy. You gonna go get it? He's going to go. See, I remembered up on Go, Mr. Wolf! Kid should have brought it over. Should have brought it over. You gonna bring it over?
Thank you, Maddie and Alex. Now, in recognition of the year we have all experienced and the losses endured both locally and across the nation, I ask that we all take a moment of silence to reflect and remember. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Now, I'm going to try to compose myself, but how great is it to be here all together for this ceremony to celebrate the class of 2021. It is so hard to believe that just over 2 weeks ago, the format of this ceremony was going to look so different. I'm extremely appreciative of the sacrifices everybody has made to put us in a place today to safely have a traditional graduation to celebrate the class of 2021. This is an exciting day, and it is absolutely fantastic that so many of you are here to experience this moment with our soon-to-be graduates. Before addressing our seniors, I'd like to acknowledge some of our guests who are accompanying me here on the field with our students. Honorable Mayor Donna Holliday, Superintendent Sean Gallagher, Assistant Superintendent Angela Bick, Director of Student Services Nancy Koch, School Committee members Stephen Cole, David Hawkeiser, Bruce Menon, Sean Reardon, and Sheila Spalding. City Councilor President Jared Eigerman, and Councilors Barry Connell, Joseph Devlin, Afroz Khan, Heather Shan, and Charles Tontar. Additionally, we are also joined here this morning by the high school's administrative team and many of our teachers from the high school and across the district. I'd also like to give special thanks to Port Media, who has been an amazing partner throughout this pandemic. They have been instrumental in helping us maintain our traditional ceremonies even when we couldn't all be together. Additional thanks also go to Mark Littlefield, Laurie Salazzo, and Amy Haas for their coordination of today's ceremony. And last but not least, I want to recognize the class of 2021 advisors, Sarah Kokonis and Sarah Scannell, along with their officers, Sam Cooper, Tom Childs, Molly Page, Tucker St. Lawrence and Caroline Walsh. Because I do have to say, today puts an exclamation point on a full week of activities that were coordinated for the senior class. Give yourselves a round of applause. It was a great week. Now, with our formalities aside, it is on to our graduates. The class of 2021, this has been a year like none other. Across the school year, you faced so many unknowns, yet you continued to move forward. Whether these unknowns centered from the complexity of your school year, our country's political and social climate, or the academic sacrifices of the pandemic, these factors weighed heavy on you and many others. But here you are, ready to launch into the next phase of your life. Regardless of your path taken, your presence today is the result of a mindset. As important as your academic studies have been, the growth mindset you have all exhibited to persevere through your 12 years of schooling, one of which includes a pandemic, will be with you forever. Though you may not remember all of the facts learned in your science or history classes across your schooling, your ability to learn and grow from setbacks and/or failure will be a key trait towards navigating your futures. As Nelson Mandela once framed for us, do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. This statement, thank you. This statement is further captured by Thomas Edison's response to a question about failing numerous times around constructing the light bulb. I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that just don't work. It's a great mindset. So whatever you do with your lives, maintain this way of thinking. It is a culture that Mr. Gallagher and I are committed to fostering here in Newburyport, and I'm hopeful that in years to come, I will be able to tap into you to share your experiences of growth beyond high school so that you can inspire the next generation of Clippers with this same way of thinking. This is something each one of you have demonstrated across this school year, and it is the reason why you are sitting here today. Class of 2021, it has been my honor to serve as your principal for the past 3 years. You have held me to the same standard as I hold you, and because of that, we have continued to move Newburyport High School forward despite the challenges of this year. As far as I am concerned, your class will always be remembered as one of the greatest to walk the halls of Newburyport High School. Congratulations to each one of you, and one last time I can say to you, let's go Clippers! Now, before our first student speaker comes to make their address, I would like to invite Assistant Superintendent Angela Bick, who will present and share exciting news around the Seal of Biliteracy.
Try that again. We're good.
Good morning, graduates. Good morning, families. It's wonderful to be here this morning. Big changes have happened to world language instruction at the national level, and Newburyport has been working hard over the last 3 years to join in. We have expanded both world language and English language learning programming. The changes relate to teaching for proficiency over time and are driven by the desire to produce biliterate graduates in this ever more global living, work, and political environment. One's level of proficiency in a language will determine what you can do with the language in terms of speaking, writing, listening, and reading in real-world context. The higher your level of proficiency, the more you can interact and accomplish in the language. The Seal of Biliteracy was created to reward students for attaining high levels of proficiency by graduation, either through a world language program or by maintaining a heritage or native language spoke at home. The Seal of Biliteracy provides a bridge connecting English language learning and world language programming. Not only does it encourage students to study and master languages, but it gives recognition to linguistic and cultural diversity. The award status can be included on resumes and is starting to be accepted for college credit. In addition to the Massachusetts State Seal of Biliteracy, the Language Opportunity Coalition, LOC, has established achievement awards for students who are on the path towards proficiency in biliteracy. Students at the elementary, middle, and high school level can qualify for these awards. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education began offering these awards in 2019. Even with the challenges presented by the pandemic last spring, one Newburyport student was tested and awarded the Seal of Biliteracy with distinction in June of 2020. This year, I am pleased to say, we have 3 students who will be receiving the Seal of Biliteracy Award and 1 student who has earned the LOC Biliteracy Achievement Award. That's amazing progress in a year. I am very proud to present the awards to this year's recipients. Will you please stand as I call your name? Caroline Walsh, LOC Biliteracy Achievement Award for German and English. Isabel Garcia, Seal of Biliteracy Award for Spanish and English. Kate Herndon, Seal of Biliteracy Award for Spanish and English. And Season Tapa, Seal of Biliteracy Award for Nepali and English. Please give our recipients a big round of applause. There he goes. All right. You got it.
Greetings, Clipper families, friends, faculty, esteemed guests, and the reason we're gathered here today, the class of 2021. Here we are, in this 21st year of the 21st century. Our time at NHS has culminated as a class like none other. We sit here today having earned the distinction of being the very first graduating class to have the majority of our senior year take place in our bedrooms. I can say with absolute certainty that we've spent more time in our pajamas than any other graduating class in the history of the school. Congratulations. Senior year is traditionally a time for introspection as we contemplate major life decisions. Our senior year has afforded us many opportunities to pause and reflect on what matters most to us in this world and why. I think we can all agree that the challenges of this past year have taught us some incredibly meaningful lessons that we'll carry with us throughout our entire lives. We've learned that if we find ourselves caught amidst rough seas, floating adrift, or even running aground, we'll eventually find a way to press on. We're Clippers. We all know the importance of relying on tenacity and ingenuity to make the best of any situation. That's Clipper pride. As we gather here together on this beautiful day, let's take a moment to appreciate just how far we've come. Let's think about how amazing it feels to be here with each other today, and how grateful we all are for this simple rite of passage that has often seemed like a faint glimmer of hope. Let's also take a moment to appreciate all of the people in our lives who've helped us get to this spot today. School staff who have brought us up over the years, and this year especially have nimbly and creatively adapted and gone the extra mile for us. Our families who have sacrificed for us in a myriad of ways, supporting us as we have grown up and changed and evolved into who we are today. Our friends who have kept us laughing and lightened our hearts. And our community as a whole that has lifted us up and supported us in so many ways. And as we think about the idea of community, let's also consider our interactions with others, especially those whose views may differ from our own. All over the world this past year, many customary greetings became more absent from daily life. Hugs, handshakes, smiles. These simple exchanges serve as reminders to approach everyone you meet with wishes for goodwill, mutual feelings of respect without question, and the expectation of finding common ground. Growing up in Newburyport, I've always been impressed by just how many people in our community embrace these ideals. And that's Clipper pride. As we move on from the green-ivied walls of NHS and begin to make our mark on the world, let's remember the memories we made, the people who inspired us, and the lessons that we learned along the way. Congratulations, class of 2021, and go Clippers.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start by welcoming the class of 2021, honorable guests, friends and family, and NHS faculty who are present here today. Thank you for joining us to celebrate our year spent at NHS and all the unique accomplishments of the class of 2021. If you asked me a year ago, or even 4 months ago, if I thought we'd be gathered in the manner we are today, I'm sure you know what my answer would have been. One of the most important lessons I've learned at the school this year is when an opportunity presents itself, run with it and never hesitate. Cherish every moment, as today's realities might be tomorrow's fantasies. While in contrast, today's biggest dreams, we all came to learn, could be tomorrow's expectations. Like each of you, the members of the class of 2021 sitting beneath me today, this year we have been called to do and be something bigger than ourselves. But as always, we have persevered. As my parents know, there's an adjective I like to use from what I call Sam's Dictionary to describe myself, an anti-procrastinator. In a nutshell, being an anti-procrastinator is exactly what it sounds like. If you don't complete an assignment or task at least 3 to 7 days in advance, anxiety will eat you alive. But if I am being completely honest, out of hundreds of homework assignments, quizzes, module notes, projects, and much more, writing this address was the one thing I continued to put off. Mentally, I couldn't gather enough courage to face the reality that this chapter of our lives was coming to an end. I didn't want to face the fact that I may never see some of my closest friends, peers, teammates, or teachers ever again. Each time I sat down on my computer and opened the Google Doc titled Graduation Final Speech, tears began to fill my eyes. Most would agree that here in Newburyport, we live in a bit of a bubble, sheltered from some of the true realities of the world. While this is self-evident and has its downfalls, I am a person who tries to find the positive in all situations. In my macroeconomics class this year, we learned about trade-offs, and after a lot of thinking, I realized that this Newburyport bubble is a trade-off in itself. While it has sheltered us, it has also forced our class to grow that much closer to one another. Because of this bubble, we hold NHS close to our hearts because we've been forced to build such strong relationships with our teachers and classmates. During my 8th grade year, I was falling for the private high school trap. This wasn't because I was not fitting in or doing poorly in the school system, but instead, I thought private education would give me the best opportunities. I quickly learned this was far from the truth. After 720 days, 17,280 hours, 1,036,800 minutes of friendships, academic rigor, and Clipper spirit, I can't help but think of all the experiences I would have lost with such an exceptional class. Making the decision to stay at Newburyport High School was one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. From our trip to Camp Kiev long ago, to our 8th grade graduation and dance, to the butterflies we all shared as we walked up the front steps of NHS as freshmen, to the color days we should have won, yep, the homecoming dances, football games, and other sporting events, to the theater productions in our sophomore semi where we were introduced to DJ Dave, to Mr. Wolf's famous pep rallies, his mesmerizing voice will forever be ingrained in our heads, to Thomas's exhilarating senior assassin, and to the memorable events of senior week we just shared with one another. These are the things we will all never forget. Class of 2021, all of you are individually unique and have many different talents and potential to offer our ever-changing world. We are a close-knit group of people who strive to support one another. And during this past year, we have had a test like no other, yet have still persevered greatly. I hope each one of your lives offers you endless opportunities and a lifetime of happiness and success. I hope you fail a few times, only to realize that failing is okay and will motivate you to work that much harder. My mom has always told me change is a good thing. Don't worry about the outcome, live for today, and everything will work itself out in the end. If you're scared, don't feel alone. I'll tell you a secret. There are 205 kids sitting right next to you in the same exact boat. In just under 3 months, our new chapter in the Book of Life will begin, and I can't wait to see where it takes us all. With all that said, class of 2021, it has been an honor being your class president. I wish you the best of luck, congratulations, and I can't wait to see you all when we return in the future for our class reunions. While our time here at NHS has finally come to an end, there are still hundreds and thousands of Newburyport children who get to experience this nourishing and special place that we consider our second home. On behalf of the class of 2021, I have the honor to present our class gift of a new podium to Newburyport High School as a symbol of Clipper spirit and our class's everlasting presence at the school. Thank you all so much.
On behalf of Newburyport High School, we thank the senior class for their generous class gift. Best of luck to the class of 2021 and all of your future endeavors.
Good morning, faculty, families, and the class of 2021. Before I began writing this speech, I asked my friends for inspiration. What I received was an emphatic plea: do not use the word unprecedented. So, this speech is not about the new normal, the uncertain times, the fact that we're all in this together. I'm not here to reflect upon what we've missed out on. This year, I took a psychology class, during which I learned about positive psychology. The goal of positive psychology is to discover and promote the qualities that allow individuals and communities to thrive. Positive psychology involves expressing gratitude for all that we have experienced. Misfortunes, disappointments, and inconveniences are inevitable, but perspective is a choice. Choose to perceive senior night not as a prom replacement, but as an opportunity to submerge Mr. LaChapelle in a dunk tank. Choose to perceive Drees's senior prank not merely as a baby goat roaming the halls, but as our adoption of the 207th member of the class of 2021 and the first four-legged kid at NHS. If there's anything I've learned from running cross country, it's the importance of forcing optimism when succumbing to pessimism would be far easier during a difficult race. Optimism, even when it's forced, carries me and my teammates to the finish line when our physical strength has been compromised by lactic acid. This idea of power and positivity applies to every aspect of life. Find the good in that paper you have to write, even if it's the sophomore expo, or in that test you have to take, even if it's the chemistry bonding test, or in that book you have to read, especially if it's the Odyssey. Many of you may question my credibility in preaching positivity. I do not claim to be an unwavering optimist. That would be Mr. Wolf. Ironically, and my friends can attest to this, the class I complained about most throughout all of high school was psychology, which I had to take through an online program. But despite my moments of negativity, I look back on these past 4 years with gratitude. Moments of negativity do not have to remain negative memories. We have the power to find the good retrospectively. In psychology, memory reconstruction errors can occur when we recall events with false details. We should utilize this concept consciously, choosing to remember our meaningful experiences with positivity and gratitude, even if we were negative in the moment. As much as I complained about my online psychology class, I'm grateful that it gave me content for this speech. When you think back on high school, think of the community, your relationships with friends and with teachers, your personal growth. One of my favorite memories from high school was the day the girls' cross-country team won our regional meet in 2019. I can vividly picture the moment Coach Henniger looked at the score sheet and put his fist in the air in a statement of victory before we gathered in a sweaty, joyful huddle. I've tapped into this memory and moments of negativity to relive this day and bring myself back to a positive state of mind. This memory sticks with me, not because of the victory, but because of the community support and the joy on everyone's face, whether they were a runner or a spectator that day. Use your people for positivity. Your classmates, your teammates, your castmates, your club members. You will accumulate more experiences as we depart from the high school, but allow the memories of your most important people to keep you afloat in moments of uncertainty. With positivity in mind, I choose to define my high school experience by everything I've gained. I, personally, have gained a passion for science. I've gained dedication and drive. I've gained unbelievable stamina by embarking on the grueling journey from the basement up to the 3rd floor every morning. I urge you all to focus on everything that we, as the class of 2021, have gained from our experience at Newburyport High School. Undoubtedly, we gained intelligence, but beyond this, we learned acceptance as our judgmental middle school selves gained more appreciation for the nuances in our class. Color Day helped us come together, and our near victories reminded us that life isn't always fair. Mr. Littlefield taught us to always strive for excellence, and Mrs. Crofts taught us meditation and mindfulness. Most recently, Senior Assassin taught us to sleep with one eye open and search our cars for unwanted guests before driving home from work. There is no perfect world that satisfies every person's needs and wishes. It is not the responsibility of our environment to accommodate all of us. Rather, it is the responsibility of our mindset to adapt to each situation. Class of 2021, you have the power to take the best moments from your time at NHS and carry them beyond these ivied walls. You have the power to create your own success. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, kids. Give them a round of applause. Those are awesome speeches. It's days like this. Wish I was back in my glory days as a wrestler, because I just dropped 2 weight classes sitting there. I think I can go 189 right now. First of all, it's an honor and a privilege to be the superintendent of this wonderful school system. And I just want to thank all the parents and the guardians and all of our graduates and everybody coming together this year to make this year very special during some extremely challenging times. So I just want to thank the parents and have our students thank the parents and guardians and family members out there for all your support. Thank you so much. Let's also acknowledge not only the Newburyport High School faculty, support staff, administration, but the entire staff of the district for contributing to the education and preparing you all for this culminating event in your life. Thank you, faculty and support staff. I would also like to take a moment and to recognize Assistant Superintendent Angela Bick, who has served the Newburyport Public Schools for 3 decades as a teacher, administrator, curriculum coordinator, and now the Assistant Superintendent. She will be retiring in the next few weeks ahead, and I just want to thank her for her service to the great school system of Newburyport. Thank you. And finally, I would also like to welcome one very special member of the class of 2021. She began with you, all in 1st grade. Newburyport Public Schools was her first priority. She provided the necessary funds, built new schools, added new technologies, and always put the children's and families first. I'm speaking, of course, of our school committee chair and the Honorable Mayor Donna Holliday, who will be graduating with you all, the class of 21. This will be her last graduation as the mayor of this city. Thank you, Mayor Holliday. All right. Class of 2021 is exceptional in many areas. You're all driven academically, you've excelled in performing arts, music, athletics, and you've dedicated yourselves to community service. You are a class that has weathered a global pandemic for the past 18 months. Every aspect of your daily lives has been affected. You turned on Google Meets to learn calculus, English, and history this year, and hopefully you had your cameras on. Big rule at the high school. You wore face masks to school. You learned more than anyone ever wanted to know about viruses, and you practiced good hygiene, I hope. Best part of your year is you got to hear hundreds of announcements from Mr. Wolf, updating you, leaving you those messages on your answer machine, beginning with, "Hello, Clippers!" You think you have it bad, come to our leadership meetings. Although we know this senior year was unlike no other, here today we celebrate your accomplishments. Much has been asked of the class of 2021. You graduate into a world that's increasingly polarized. It has been too easy for us to split into two sides. And it's been very common for the tone of our political discourse and civil problem solving to be attacking and negative. How easy would it have been for you, this senior class, to fall in line with the negativity that's displayed all around you? But not these Clippers. This class came together through adversity. Today I see a senior class together recognize the pandemic was something they could not control. This senior class learned when they embraced each other and used their individual strengths as one, they continued to learn and grow. Adversity has made you wise. And adversity has also made you creative. Newburyport is a community steeped in tradition. I learned that here in my first year. The challenge for you, our seniors, was to figure out how your traditions could be reinvented. I've seen innovative solutions to proms, pranks, processions, and I'm certain that we are graduating a class of young people who are capable of problem solving. As we all know, this year has brought out the best and the worst in people. I've always believed that actions speak louder than words, and we, the adults, are supposed to be the role models for this generation. But I think many adults who are in leadership positions no longer are following constructive dialogue, finding common ground to solve problems. Perhaps today a keyboard and a computer screen make it too easy to point fingers, to blame others, be critical, insulting, and create division among people. I always believe that's the easy way out. It's hard to come to the table. It's hard to swallow your pride. It's hard to find common ground. It's hard to make decisions, and it's hard to problem solve. This year, your class shared a common read, the book of Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. Like you, I came to the table, or a virtual table, to talk with others about this book and how the themes and ideas affected me personally. As I reflect on the class of 2021, a passage from Just Mercy stands out to me. In chapter 16, Mr. Stevenson shares a story, meeting a woman outside the courtroom steps. He assumed she was there because she knew someone at the trial, but she was not. She explained that her grandson was murdered by young men who killed her, and her grandson was sentenced to life in prison. She tells Stevenson she thought that sentence would have made her feel better, but it didn't. It made her feel worse. She found what made her feel better was to forgive those young men. Now she visits the courthouse to provide compassion and support for all of those who are on trial. I don't know, she tells Stevenson. It's a lot of pain. I decided that I was supposed to be here at the court to catch those stones that people cast at one another. Stevenson recalls the speech he gave about those who cast stones. The grandmother remembered his words, told Stevenson, I heard you in the courtroom today. I've seen you here a couple times before, and I know you're a stone catcher too. Throughout this pandemic, throughout the civil unrest, throughout the divided social discourse, it's easy to be a stone thrower. Matter of fact, there'll be people throwing stones this afternoon on Facebook or Instagram, people complaining about something, people complaining about someone, or being critical from their couch. You see, it is a choice to be negative, to cast stones at people and problems. Lucky for us, the class of 2021 decided to be stone catchers and not stone throwers. Beyond your academics, athletics, extracurricular activities, this is the real-world lesson that you'll be taking with you as you move onward and forward. When there is adversity in your life and you are knocked down, you won't sit back and point the finger. You won't complain and you won't blame others. You'll reflect on this experience and you'll do what you have done all year long. Pick yourself up, find common ground, problem solve, and you'll come out on top. My advice is to apply those same principles to your own personal life and your future endeavors. I want to take this opportunity to personally thank each and every member of this senior class for their maturity, responsibility, and leadership. My door is always open for you, and the best part of that is you won't have to wear a mask to come in. Thank you.
Samuel James Cooper. Thomas James Childs. Molly Ann Page. Caroline Elsa Walsh. Tucker William St. Lawrence. Annalise Mary Truesdale. Dries Bushini Fadil. Caroline Madison DeSimio Maloney. Sadie Chandler Fountain. Alexander James Georgopoulos. Wyatt Maynard Allard. Ava Lee Ambrose. Autumn Moonlight Anderson. Ryan Joseph Archer. Stella Josephine Badalaman. Riley Donald Baker. Edie Lorraine Banovic. Matthew Upton Bezenis. Callie May Boberlant. Sophia Luis Beninato. Nicholas Bifsis. Mia Dorothy Bonacorsi. Brian Patrick Bradley. Jack Thomas Bregner. Ryan Michael Brennan. Shannon Elizabeth Brennan. Anna Grace Britton. Jax Clayton Budgel. Jacob Philip Bontempo. Jackson Garrick Byrne. Tony Marie Cabral. Charles Michael Kalane. Anna Lee Cameron. Callie Marie Caponigro. Sky Marguerite Casella. Victoria Irene Chasen. Grady Oliver Childs. Maximum Melville Clement. Tyler James Clements. Nicholas Stephen Colella. Roan Matthew Connolly. Dimitri Henry Connor. Harry Michael Costello. Ryan Michael Catone.
Alec John Crotty. Andrew Michael Cullen. Madigan Renee DeFeo. Emma Rose Delahanty. Duncan Patrick Denner. John Daniel Donovan. Alina Deborah Derogi. L. Penelope Doucette. Sadie Marie Doyle. Kylie Ann Dunphy. James Ray Diamond. Eli Evanson. Isabel Dorothy Ferguson. Sadie Beth Fiddler. Devin Teresa Flanagan. Tyler Jack Foley. Julieli Gomez Fonseca. Isabel Maria Garcia Rodriguez. Liam Patrick Gately. Aiden Peter Geary. Haley Rose Gedeman. Abigail Elizabeth Gillingham. Jenna Marie Lawson. Andrew Lawrence Goodwin. Mitchell Horton Gorski. Mia Lilia Grasso. Spencer Martin Gray. Charlotte Sophia Gretz. Margaret Emily Groff. Zachary Robert Guillou. Liam Thomas Gustafson. Michael Jonathan Habib. Nathan Gregory Hall. Tyler Albert Hamilton. James William Hargreaves. Shannon Jacqueline Harrington. Maya Helen Havdra. Kennedy Connor Heath. Kate Elizabeth Herndon. Greta Clark Hertel. Jessica Elizabeth Higginbotham. Franklin John Hillhouse. Haley Elizabeth Howgate. Alexander Brodish Iannini. Thomas Frederick John. Delaney Carolyn Janbrin.
Emma Louise Johnston. Megan O'Connor Kaiser. Kelly Swayzoon Kane. Brendan Paul Keeley. Emma Rose Keith. Ian Charles Keller. Caroline Grace Kelly. Megan Elizabeth Kempton. Kyle Patrick Kryby. Peter James King. Samantha Maria Jasenia King. Christian Jack Kinsey. Christian Heesgard Kerr. Henry Yunho Lacey. Sierra Eve Leahy. Alexander Julian Lassard. Taylor Minerva Lever. Zachary Eric Lever. Zachary Paul Luan. Sophia Pare Leiden. Anthony Alfonso Lucci. Melena Diane Lucci. Trace Carl Lustgarden. Samuel Cabot Lyman. Kian Matthew O'Reilly McGuaran. Samuel Anthony Majahad. Finnegan Scott Malone. Oliver Anthony Malone. Caroline Grace Marino Babcock. Jackson Everett Marshall. Jacob Aaron Marshall. Anna Rose McCloskey. Lee Tian Long McClure. Jenna Nicole McCoy. Nora Brunick McElhenney. Vincent Joseph McKeon. Owen Paulson McNeil. Madison Danielle Medeiros. Eleanor Faith Meinhardt. Leah Cameron Metzger. Adeline Rose Moore. Catherine Mary Moore. Nora Eileen Morrissey. Colin Franklin Murphy. Alexander Deming Myrie. Ava Rose Neely.
Lindsay Shirley Nielsen. Elizabeth Caroline Newman. Summer Rachel Noonan. Nikolai Joseph Novak. Stella Katarina Okaya. Olivia Grace Oram. Erin Ann Osinski. Lucy Leslie Page. Liberty Rose Palomino. Jake Shireman Palma. Andrew Fuan Pang. Autumn Marie Parsigan. Olivia Grace Passon. Thomas Clays Pennington. Nicholas Walker Petty. Isabella Alexis Philbin. Annika Jolliffe Pinyoshan. Luke Timothy John Powers. Alexa Michelle Quenneville. Anna Sophia Gore Reese. Matthew Allen Reeves. Colin Patrick Richmond. Clara Elizabeth Riley. Jacob Patrick Robertson. Brooke Ann Rogers. Jack Henry Roper. William Walton Rowan. Catherine Lillian Sarah. Lily Victoria Sava. Logan Christopher Schilling. Rory Allen Schmidt. Eleanor Christine Schulson. Carly Jill Schwab. Amelia Ann Snyder. Jaden Jason Souza. Lily Frevere Spalding. Owen Patrick Spence. Tyler Altuslaban Sperry. Benjamin Reed St. Lawrence. Oscar Henry Stroman. Kaylee Elizabeth Sullivan. Jason Kincaid Tamayoshi. Maeve Iona Taylor. Season Tapa. Christopher Lawrence Thorson. William Albert Trail.
Lily Catherine Troop. Ashley Leah Ventura. Tristan Michael Vincent. Martina Cheryl Awar Ward. Trevor Roby Oswago Ward. Alexandra Shaw Waters. Gabrielle Burr Waters. Olivia Ardith Webb. Holden James Weiss. Nicholas Daniel White. Zachary Richard Wilson. Kylie Marie Wokel. Sydney Lee Yim. Hayden Jack LaPlante.
Good morning. I would first like to thank our esteemed guests for joining us today and extending their well wishes to my class and I. Thank you to the families, friends, and faculty for being here today to celebrate this graduating class, as well as the loved ones and supporters who are unable to be here with us. I'd also like to thank my fellow classmates for their time and allowing me to drag this nostalgic mess on a little longer. And finally, I would like to extend a special thank you to Mrs. Glynn, who is retiring with this class, and if it weren't for her, this art student wouldn't enjoy at least 1 year of math. Thank you. Dear class of 2021, when I first wrote this speech, I was sitting in bed. My computer propped up on my lap, and honestly, I wasn't paying much attention to what I was typing out. This is probably a familiar scene for many of you, as I'm sure remote learning redefined what a learning environment really is like for each of us. And while I was sitting, wrapped up in my covers, I was thinking of two things. What could I possibly tell you that you haven't heard before? And, oh my God, did I schedule to get my wisdom teeth out before or after graduation? It's happening after, if you couldn't tell. I could say to you a slew of commonplace comments that are repetitively yammered off to you like, congratulations, or we did it. We did it. I think about what that means, the cliche and all, when I say that, but we did, in fact, do it. It's strange how a simple phrase like we did it can become so important. That umbrella phrase covers 13 years of public education that we've endured, embraced, hated, trudged through, and maybe, just maybe, even enjoyed. We did it, the indefinite pronoun it, representing the culmination of our stupid decisions and Mr. Spadano's cartwheels. The never-ending memories that span from a mystery sauce locker in 8th grade to times with some hopefully lifelong friends. We did it. And as we leave these ivied walls and safety bubbles that have protected and been kind to us throughout childhood, I urge you to remember the good times, bad times, all the moments and accomplishments that allow us to say, we did it. For some, that may mean dragging our feet through one last fishbowl discussion for a Shakespeare play. And for others, it's the pride we felt when we finally got to see our name on the class day, color day jug, a feat we accomplished that had been many, many years in the making, and for us, videos. These are memories I hope you take away long after our caps are thrown and we forget the few lyrics that we did know of the alma mater. Remember the cartwheels and mystery sauces, the Google Meet mishaps, you're on mute, and Miss McConey's bird song. Remember the bad times, the stupid times, and most importantly, the good times. Class of 2021, we did it. Thank you.
Three, two, one. Let's go, Newbury! Let's go! We made it, buddy. Help you, buddy. Go.
Thank you. Oh, fuck it.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today.
Here we go. We're going to do the alpha. Yeah, there's Mark right over there.